Welcome to episode 150 of Soccer Over Gotham, the Empire Strikes Back edition. We have a great show for all of you. And then there was one. For the second time in 3 seasons, Gotham FC are NWSL champions, and it just had to be Rose Lavelle, did it not? Rose's stunner of a goal. Yeah. Indeed. Rose's stunner of a goal earns Gotham their 3rd trophy in 3 seasons and Rose her first NWSL title. We're going to do a deep dive into this game from Sonnet's heroics to Shapansky's weaker foot, ! To how Gotham stifled the Spirit's attack. No games to preview. We got an off season. Holy cow. It comes too quick, and we will give our thoughts on the season and our off-season wish list as we have a couple players out of contract. One of those players, Kayla Duran, we got to talk to her today, which was awesome. And just first, shout out to Gotham's comms team. Going in, if you don't know, the off season comes tomorrow, so and all the players have to be off. So to get an interview with a player, it's really tough at the deadline. So for them to work it in, they emailed me this morning hey, we can do Kayla at this time. I was like, okay, cool, we'll fit it in. I'm writing my notes on the elliptical at the gym. So we made it work. Amanda was there to interview Kayla, and she was so thoughtful. We talked about her journey, between her. What she was doing before getting to Gotham, joining the team, winning the CONCACAF Champions Cup, just the team itself, what she learned from Emily Sonnet. Did she pick up any bad habits? And then we will talk about the NWSL Championship from her perspective, which is awesome. And lastly, if she plans to be back next year. Jenna, good to talk to you again. How are you?
I know. I couldn't help but chime in there about Rose. I'm good. I mean... What a final, what a season. Happy to be here as always, and I can't believe we're wrapping up another NWSL season.
I know. And a championship. You were where were you for this game?
I watch at Gotham had watch parties all over the city, and I was at the one in Queens at Rivercrest in Astoria. Great viewing experience. Small but dedicated crowd there. So I would love to see some more Queens folks getting into the NWSL this coming year.
Yeah, I was in Brooklyn for the Fulton one. It took me a 2 hour and 10-minute drive. It's not bad.
Wow, it's dedication.
It was. Yeah, and it would have been a really long ride home if they did not win. So it felt like a half-hour ride home because it was such good vibes.
Yeah, riding high.
Indeed. So in there, when we're jumping ahead a little bit, but when you saw the ball coming across the 18-yard box, and then you see Roosevelt coming into the screen from the other side, did you just know that was the moment?
I knew. Nobody was on her.
Right.
First of all. And I think we'll get into this a little bit later, but Hal Hirschfeld was not getting to that pass, and she, in other circumstances, might have, but when that ball came across, she couldn't get there. Rose is coming in. I was just like, "This is it! This is it! This is it!"
Yeah, you just know, it was my eyes got super huge, and I was like, "Okay, this is the moment."
It's a moment that felt like 10 minutes, in that moment, you're like, ah.
Yeah, amazing. Just incredible. We're definitely going to break that down a little bit more. Some quick notes before we get started. Brooklyn FC won a home game. For some reason, Brooklyn FC does really well on the road, and they just have not been able to win home games. I think they've won 3 home games. Yeah. It's that New York vibe, I guess. But then the Sirens open up their season with a decisive 4-0 win over in Ottawa, and they play at home. I'm thinking about going. I'm not sure, but it'll be 12 p.m. Eastern at the Prudential Center, New York versus Vancouver, the new team. So it should be a lot of fun. Check them out.
How far is that for you?
It's 10 minutes from Red Bull Sports Illustrated Stadium.
Okay. So same. Yeah.
Same. I can't win. Yes. So everybody follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, all this YouTube there as well. Put out a new design for our podcast for the championship on TeePublic. Search Soccer Over Gotham podcast, all 4 words, and you'll find us and purchase it there. I think there's Black Friday sales, so get it as cheap as you possibly can. I don't care how much you buy it for. We get the same amount of money either way. So buy it as cheap as you can. So, Jenna, some big awards. The award show happened, and Lily Reel is now the Rookie of the Year.
I know. For those at home, he in the show notes put Ronnie of the Year, which I just love, and I'm going to start saying that now.
Yeah. I did all these notes on my phone, and it was like auto-correcting. So,
Ronnie of the Year. Who's Ronnie? Who cares? But
yeah. Yeah, what a season she had. And we'll get into it. She had an amazing game in the finals. She belongs at this level and beyond. Such a talent. So lucky that we had her. And then, like, this is what not having the draft does for this league. Like, players like Lily Reel, no chance that she would have been on Gotham. She would have been a top 5 pick, top 3 maybe. So for her to make her way over to Gotham is pretty special. And we're absolutely lucky for it.
Absolutely. And I could go on and on and on about how the league will change with no draft. But one thing I think that is so important is giving these players the autonomy to choose where they're going to go that will be best for their development. And I think with Lily and also for Sarah Shapansky, and honestly, all of the rookies, Kaya, Sophia, like you really saw them grow and develop this season in a way that I don't think would have happened with the draft. And also the fact that Gotham had like at the end of the year like 10 rookies or something crazy if you count like any like new player to the league like Hasbo, Duran, Ryan Campbell, all of them. So it's for a team that used to be not known for bringing in rookies. They really did, and they really were impactful this season. And Lily just had a top to bottom impactful season with Gotham. I'm so glad she won.
No doubt. And 5 of our bats got called up to the U.S. Women's National Team. Lily, Sonnet, Roosevelt, Jaden Shaw, and Jalen Howell. Shout out to her. Her first call-up since 2022. Well-deserved. We'll definitely get into her. What a playoff she had. What a season. She's, amazing. Absolutely.
And really looking forward to seeing this team play Italy, obviously, my second team. And hopefully I'll be doing a little bit of a Know Your Opponent preview on Italy in the coming days. So keep your eyes out.
Indeed. Jenna, let's talk about this game. This is the 16th meeting between Washington Spirit and Gotham FC in all competitions since 2022, with each team recording 5 wins over the other in that time and 5 draws. It's a complete toss-up. Thank you, Opta. I think the most interesting thing about this lineup is Bruninha. Usually when Gotham gets into the playoffs, they lock in and keep similar starting lineup. I know Shapansky was brought in after the first game with Hasbo, but Mandy Freeman gets the start over Bruninha. Just your thoughts on that, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like one of those things where this roster has the depth where you can do that. And Mandy had a great game. And it was just, I mean, and the other side of that is obviously it was just so cool to see her be captain. You know, anybody listening to this podcast, I know you know what Mandy Freeman means to this team. Been here since her rookie year, 2017, the only player who's been on it nearly that long. I think the next closest one is maybe Midge. You might have to fact check me on that. My brain is a little bit mush.
I think you're right on there.
And Midge has been here since 2020. So, just what an incredible thing to see her play and win and be captain. So, and then Bruninha got in and she did her thing. So we'll get to that.
Yeah. In talking to Juan Carlos, he mentioned that it's been gnawing at him for the past 2 seasons that he left Mandy off the roster, off the 18 for the championship game in 23. And he mentioned how much she's been working and growing as a player and as a person, as a leader with this team. So it was like, I don't know, it's like maybe like in a way in his brain to like make it right, and giving her the captain's band as well. Just incredible. Mandy again means everything to this team. And being able to like bring her out on that stage and to have her perform as well as she did. And, you know, Bruninha deserved to be out there. She played excellent in the first 2 games. And for her to, and they interviewed her after the game, and she's just like, no, it's like, I'm totally fine with that. Let Mandy do her thing, and then I come in and do my thing. And she certainly did.
The ultimate game changer, yes.
Yeah, no doubt. And this bench was ridiculous, even though they didn't use it. 1 sub this game. But just to be able to like have Sophia Cook, Ella Stevens, Gabby, Jace, Stengel on a bench as attacking options is pretty formidable.
Yeah. It's a good bench.
Yes. So let's talk about things that went right. And sometimes coaches get it right. And Juan Carlos Amaros got it right. He got his setup right. He decided to go back to like 2023, where Gotham just goes and presses teams to the end of the pitch. And they went right at Washington. And you could tell in the first 15 minutes, there was a lot of conversations between Aubrey and her defense about what they were going to do and how they were going to try to stop the bleeding, because Gotham was all over them in the first 15 minutes. They were direct, aggressive. Jalen Howe was up the field. Sarah Japansky was sitting deeper, and Shaw was up the field. And Gotham abandoned a bit of their playing out of the back for this one. Against KC, against Orlando, they did play a little bit less out of the back as they went on. But this one, they didn't play out of the back much at all. They were going direct, trying to get behind Washington's back line and trying to pin them back as much as possible. Like you saw moments in the game where they're just playing balls out of bounds near the corner flags just so they can reset and pin them in again, just like they did in 2023. And just to give a statistical look at what Gotham did as far as playing out of the back against KC, Sonnet had 99 touches and Carter had 113. Against Orlando, Sonnet had 62 and Carter had 66. Then against Washington, Sonnet only had 45 touches and Carter only 59. So they just were simply not playing out the back at all. Then, Gotham used the high press to great length in the first half. Just your thoughts on Gotham going right at Washington without any fear whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, even on the kickoff, they were like, just, all right, we're going right at them. And if not for, I don't know how offside Esther was in that goal, she got called back on a foot, less than a foot. I mean, she was clearly offside. However, to me, I was like, okay, that's like a shot fired across the bow. Like, that's what they're going to do here. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, I mean, they scored one goal and that's all it took, but they could have been up like by two in the first half with the way that they were pressing. And I think the spirit was just, I don't know if they weren't prepared for that, but they just were having a lot of trouble absorbing the pressure that Gotham was putting them under. And in particular, the thing you said about they would just kick the ball out of bounds just to be able to kind of like take a breather and reassess what was going on. And I was so impressed with the way Gotham came out in the first half. I gotta say, going into this match, like I had like a very like quiet calm where I just was like, they're gonna win. Like I was like, they're gonna win. I feel it in my bones. And when they came out in the first half like that, I was like, oh yeah, this is Amaros ball right here. Like we're going.
Of the two teams, obviously Gotham had the harder road to the final. And I think Washington maybe were not prepared for a team that was going to really, really go at them. Racing Louisville took them to penalties. Like that's true. And they were high pressing them too. So
yeah.
So there's that too. But I think the moments of this game that really set the tone for I talked about this with Kayla because it just was so interesting to me that Emily Sonnet on defense, where she throws her body to the ground to block a shot. It was mentioned like the shot across the bow on offensive side where Esther scores, but I think that was a signal to her teammates saying like, this is the energy that you need. This is what it means to me that I'm putting my entire body on the line
literally.
Yeah. And so the defensive resolve that Emily Sonnet had and kind of set the tone for the rest of the game. And I knew for some reason I saw that moment. I was like, okay, they got this. Just your thoughts on Emily.
I was watching with a friend of mine who used to play pro in Spain, and so I love to hear what she has to say about the game and like her thoughts on it. And her first words that came out of her mouth was, "She's lucky that wasn't a handball because that could have gone really wrong." I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even, it's like it was such a great save, or block rather. I didn't even think about that. But I think it's just like exactly what you said. Like this is the energy that Emily Sonnet is bringing to the function. And that is what she does. And there's a reason she's been in five finals and won 3, I think is the stat. And I think she said in an interview post-game, they asked her about it, maybe on the broadcast, I forget. The broadcast was hilarious, by the way, when Carolyn Tish was shotgunning a beer with Kelly O'Hara. So credit to CBS because that was so funny. Like, I'm still laughing about it. But I think Sonnet said, I just needed to cut off her angles. And at the time, that was just the best way I could find to do it. And I was like, and that's why you want Emily Sonnet on your team.
Yeah, no doubt. I was talking to Kayla about it, and she mentioned that, like, the entire bench just started, like, looking at each other like, okay, this is serious.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Leading by doing.
Yep. This was the third time Gotham has held an opponent without a shot on target in an NWSL match in 2025. Now, keep in mind that we've faced Washington 3 times already this season. They have yet to score on Gotham, and they couldn't get a shot on target in the finals. Gotham's defense was just locked in.
Yeah.
And credit to Mandy and Lily on the outside. Those were the hardest assignments of the night, and they just performed admirably. And I think this is something that I've been mentioning a lot lately, but Gotham's depth was the reason Gotham made it to the finals and won, right? If you look at other teams, you look at KC, which when Shawinga was out, we talked about this, but like when Cooper was out, it's like, okay, what do we do? Who do we put in? Do we play an injured player? We don't have the depth. What do we do? And then you go against Orlando. When Bandon went out, they had a huge identity crisis, and they kind of figured it out towards the end, but still not quite the same team. But when Gotham has an injured player, you just next person up, you step in, and everybody's ready to go. And let's talk about what happens when coaches get it wrong. And Washington's coach got it wrong here. And it was a clear contrast. Hal Hirschfeld, I believe, is a calf injury for her. She was doing a lot of calf raises on the sideline.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't sure if it was an ankle or a calf. It was unclear to me. I thought it was ankle at the time. Like, during the game, I thought it was ankle, but I don't know.
Yeah, and like... she was on the sideline for 10 minutes. So Washington played down 10 minutes. Then they brought her back on because if you listen to the coach, she was saying that she wanted to come back on. So what am I supposed to do? But I feel like...
In that moment, you have to be a coach.
Right. I feel like if this is Gotham, Hasbo is right in there. Like, if this is...
Yeah,
Howell, it's Hasbo.
Yeah, and that's been Gotham's mentality all season, and many of the players have said this, is that if somebody's down or somebody, comes out or whatever the situation may be, you step in to support them and to be that next person up to take over whatever they're doing. I'm phrasing this completely wrong. That's not how they said it. But that's kind of what you're saying here is with Gotham's depth and Amarosa's coaching abilities is that they fill those gaps when that happens. He would never spend 10 minutes and 10 men waiting for someone to... It's just not in his DNA.
Yeah. Yeah, great. And let's just get to it. The perfect. I mean, this is everything you wanted to see in Gotham for a long time. This is the perfect Gotham goal, and it has to start with Berger making a pretty poor decision at the back, sends it to Rodman, who heads it back to her, which good on that. Gets back to her, get the reset. Finds Sonnet. Sonnet's patient. Finds Szczepanski, and that ball from Sarah Szczepanski where she turns, sees Bernina on the run, not only plays it to Bernina, doesn't play it to her. She plays it exactly where Bernina is heading towards, and she hits it in stride. And Ambrose called that her weaker foot, like her weak foot. I'm like, I think the film shows that is a lie. There's no weak foot with Sarah Szczepanski. Bernina's touch goes into space. She brings it into the box. And I've been saying this all season. Bernina is one of the only attackers that Gotham has that knows how to take something off of the game, knows how to put her foot on the ball, knows how to slow it down just a second or two. And she sees Rose coming from the other side of the pitch. So she starts doing her step overs just to buy that 1 second. Yeah, 1 second at a time that she needed. Perfect flick across. And we were just talking about this. I think if Hal Hirschfeld is healthy, she intercepts this ball. And she stumbles on her way to it. It gets through. And we were talking about this beforehand. But like just in the bar, seeing Rose come into the picture from the far side. And it just like, you just knew it was a goal. When that ball hits the back of that's how you draw it up in practice. And you do it 1,000 times. What a shot. What a goal. Just perfect. And yeah, your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching the highlights with my wife, who is all, also works in the industry, so she was at the final,
Mm-hmm.
jealous. And when the goal came up, we were both like, watch Sarah Shapansky. Like we both like looked at each other and we're like, oh my God. Like we're like in talking about this goal. Obviously what Bruninha did and everything you just explained was amazing. And, Rose does what Rose does, but it all starts with that Sarah Shapansky pass into space, exactly where Bruninha needs it to be. And it's just like, that's a rookie,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just incredible. And Bruninha, I mean, not a rookie, but was the youngest player on the pitch. And it's just incredible to see this team that is such a great mix of like rookies, young players, veterans, and they all came together in that moment to score that goal. It was just, it
Mm-hmm.
was beautiful. And, little bit of luck with the Hal Hirschfeld situation, but also not luck because that's exactly what Gotham can do.
Yeah. Another little thing about this goal is that the unselfishness of Gotham's forwards making runs.
Mm,
Now, Washington has 5 players back to Gotham's 4 attackers because Gotham's missing an attacker. That's Rose Lavelle, who's a little bit late on purpose. But you look at it, and Jaden Shaw's making a near post run. She's dragging the defense to the near post. Esther is making a run to the far post. She's pulling the defense to the far post. Midge circles and comes through the middle. So all Washington's defenders are going all different ways, and they're all getting pulled everywhere. That allows that ball to just slide across, and just unselfish runs by every one of Gotham's forwards. And yeah, a wonderful end result there.
yeah.
And I guess get a note here. Bruninha is the only substitute in NWSL Championship history to assist the game-winning goal. What a player! What a special player!
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah. She's also the youngest player in NWSL history to win 2 championships. Yeah, wild, and we're just happy because Bruninha is a special player again. And thank you, Hugh Menzies, for for bringing her to Gotham all that time ago. That's his legacy right here.
That is his. Well, let's be honest. That's a Yael. That's a Yael brainchild right there. Who GM of the century? Honestly,
Yeah,
no
no
one's
doubt.
doing it better.
Yeah,
IMO.
because we were talking to Hugh about the Jamaican women's national team. We talked a little bit about Gotham, and he's like, they asked him like what player did he wanted to bring to Gotham, and that's like the player that he came to mind. He's like, I want her, and they were like, you sure? Like, yes, I want her on Gotham. So they went out and got her. Yeah, so didn't win a game, but helped bring Bruninha to us,
Yeah.
and we won a championship because of her. 2 of them.
What an era that was.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh my gosh.
So Rose Lavelle,
Rose
the
Lavelle.
woman of the night, won her first NWSL title, named MVP, became the first NWSL player to score in 2 different championships and a World Cup final. Just an incredible person, and it just
What else
had to
can
be
you
her.
say?
Yeah, no doubt. And I think like what gets missed a lot of times is her quiet leadership. Like
Hmm.
I've never seen her like get angry at like one of her teammates. Like she's
Never.
always like so encouraging and like, you know, she's a good hype woman, I guess.
Yeah. No, this whole Gotham team this year just seems like a really good group. Like it
Hmm.
really seemed cohesive this year and just had a really good vibe about them. So
Yeah.
worked out.
Yeah. Remember they were like, "What's going on in Gotham? Why does they got such bad vibes over there?" Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's so funny. It's like these things can change year to year, player to player, vibe to vibe, but whatever. I don't know. Last year was so interesting too, not the
Yeah.
like tangent, but they did make it to the semifinals and take the Spirit to a penalty shootout. Like it's not like it was a disaster. But this year just there was something really special about this team. I think you could tell.
Yeah. They tried. They tried to do it without any drama. But of course, like I mean, that's that moment where like at the end of the game where Berger like comes out of the goal and misses it, and then like the chip over the top. I was like, can you just stop?
I didn't even have the wherewithal to do my normal post I do AKB heart attack hours because I
Yeah,
just could. I was like, oh no, it's not funny right now.
yeah, they just had to do that. They were like, this is too easy. Yeah. So, any player notes from this game, Jenna?
No, I mean I say no, and then I'm going to launch into my notes.
Yeah.
I think everybody on the pitch did what they needed to do. Every single person. And, Jalen Howell, Midge Purse, like everybody, even, Esther did what she needed to do. And I think sometimes, like not on this show, but sometimes like, you look at the score sheet and you're like, Rose and Bernine, yay. But this was truly a team effort, top to bottom. And every single one of those players played 90 minutes except Lily and Brew, which is crazy. And also, Lily is a little bit lucky not to have gotten that second yellow. Like, I thought Adrian was gonna like have his head literally explode. So he had to take her off. Like, he had to take her off. But she did what she had to do, and I hope she's proud of her performance, and I hope they all are, because it was just they just came out and they got the job done.
Yeah, then Bernini gets a yellow card like right away. You're like, oh,
of course.
Of course. Yeah.
We don't have Allie Long anymore on this team, so other people's got to pick up the mantle.
True. I just want to say I hope Rodman is okay.
Yes.
What a terrible year it's been for her.
Yeah, it really felt for her in that moment. It broke my heart. Hal Hirschfeld too broke my heart too, because you never want to see any of that.
No, not at all. My player of the playoffs and championship has been Jalen Howell. She's been incredible all the way through. She stepped up and owned the middle of the park, and she was involved not only on the defensive side but on the offensive side as well. I don't think there's a player that possibly played better than her. Maybe Jalen, but I don't know. I think it's been
Jaden. You mean?
Jaden, yeah.
Yeah, the two J's. They joke about this all the time, apparently.
Yeah. On FOTMob, Jalen Howell had an 8.7 against KC. 7.6 against Orlando, and an 8.1 top player rated for the final. Just incredible. And it says Jalen Howell won 15 duels as Opta on Saturday, equaling the most of any player in an NWSL championship match, tied with Sam Muse in 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, she was everywhere. And Washington is a fighting team.
Yeah.
They will fight you for everything. And speaking of that, Bethune, how did she manage to get out of jail free all game? She was due a yellow card early in that one.
There was a couple, it was funny because by the time Lily got, hold on, wait. I just want to go back super quick to Jalen Howell. Totally got that deserved U.S. Women's National Team call-up. She's a player reborn. Excellent tournament. I'm so happy she's getting her flowers with that. Okay, back to Corey Bethune. By the time Lily Real got her yellow card, which was that's a yellow card. I said to my friends, I was like, I can't believe that's the first yellow card of the match, because it wasn't just Croy. There was like a bunch of players, honestly, on both sides. But Spirit were clearly getting frustrated with what Gotham were putting down. And I was really surprised that Lily's yellow was the first yellow of the night, because they were, and it was kind of like a combination. Like, some of the fouls I thought were like, might have rose to the occasion of a yellow, but they were also consistent. Like, the amount of times that, I can't remember, maybe it was even Jalen Howell, got pushed down in the back. It was like at least 3 times by the end of the first half. And I was like, what are we doing here? Like, we've seen so many times in the NWSL, these refs lose control of these games. And then, look what happens. Look at these player injuries that can happen. So that was really frustrating me, because I was thinking, kind of like midway through the first half, I was like, oh, someone's going to get hurt if they don't kind of like rein this in a little bit. And I think it's difficult. I can't imagine being a ref. I know we sit here and criticize all the time, but it's a very hard job. So I'm not trying to take away from that. And you're trying to kind of find the balance between letting them play. This is a final, and you want to not like make yourself the center of attention here, but also controlling it in a way that, player safety is paramount to what's happening here. And I don't know. I think it missed the mark a little bit, but that's just one gal's opinion.
No, I think you're right. I think sometimes refs don't want to put their stamp on the game. They kind of want to let the players play. They don't want it just to be they don't want to ruin the championship based on something like that. So they always a little light-handed sometimes, and it's only gonna be when it's really obvious that it's a yellow card, like Lily's. But yeah. But Jenna, the scripters were scripting again. And this time it was me. It's just how I scripted it up. Gotham FC's journey to the 2025 championship wasn't just a win. It was one of the most difficult runs to a championship in sports. the quarterfinal upset, knocking off the KC Current, the top NWSL regular season team in history. Then to go into the semifinals against the defending champions, the Pride, then making it to the championship against the last year's runner-up. Can't even imagine a tougher gauntlet of teams to go against, and they pulled it off, and they look good doing it. Just amazing.
They really did. They really did. It was great. It was so fun.
Yeah. So, do you have any post-game quotes?
Let's see. Oh, I should have prepared some, but I'm just like off the top of my head. I wanted to come here on vibes alone. Yeah. One of the things that I put this in my Substack that I wrote a little personal essay. I was in my feels. Is I had asked Juan Carlos at the post-match presser, just like about his emotions around this, and he just gave like a very beautiful answer, kind of reflecting on, the passing of his dad recently and how he's getting older, and just, how he knows that like he's helped create a moment for his players where 40 years from now, 50 years from now, they're going to like tell their kids and grandkids about this, and that like that's the reason you do it, is to create these moments for the people you're with. And I thought that was just amazing. And so I have the full quote on my Substack, but that to me was like just such a great quote, because that's like, that's it at the end of the day. Like that's why we do anything is for and with the people we do it with. So I really, really liked that.
Yeah, that was a great article. Everybody should sign up for Jenna's Substack. I'm signed up, of course.
You were one of the first, if not the first.
No, yeah, As soon as it was, I was like, okay, take my money. Okay. So, quotes that I found really interesting. One came from someone you don't expect to have some good quotes, but this was a really funny interaction between Ann Katzenberger and Kelly O'Hara.
Ann Katzenberger is low-key the funniest person on that team. I'm sorry.
Isn't she?
Yeah. She's hysterical. Anyway, sorry, continue.
She was lighting up Kelly in that post game. She's like, what kind of question is that? You should know better than that.
That entire post game was so funny. Like when Kelly was running around like yelling Rose Lavelle into the microphone, I was like crying my eyes out. I was like, this is so funny.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the quote from Anne that like really jumped out to me, because I think it speaks a lot to who she is as a person. Because sometimes you don't hear much from her. She seems really reserved and drawn in, and like reflective. But like when Kelly asked her why did you come to Gotham, and she's like, I came here because I'm a winner. And there was such like a bravado and like belief, and just like there was something in that. I was just like, okay, Anne, I see why you are, one of the best in the world. That belief that she has in herself, and for what she's overcome in her life, to have that, you kind of have to have that backbone and that resolve, and that belief in yourself. And amazing. Then Midge, on the funny side, they asked her about like Gotham possibly being like the villains. She says, I've been trying to be the villain for the past 5 seasons and it hasn't stuck. And do you think at this point, do you feel like Gotham are a little bit of the villains of the league?
No, not at all. I don't understand like where that narrative came from. I mean, maybe there was like a time like a few years ago, like when they were like building that super team or whatever, maybe. But unfortunately for them, they have become like the lovable underdogs. I don't know how, but that's just kind of what. And I think Midge later goes on in that quote to say, how can you be the villains when you have America's sweetheart Rose Lavelle on your team? Yeah. And there's just something, again, like there's just something about this team that it's like, it's just like a really likable group who are really freaking good at soccer. And they have a really great coaching staff and a really great organization. But I don't think they're villains at all. Like, honestly, I mean, like, if I don't even know who would be a villain in the NWSL. Like, maybe Kansas City or the Pride. I don't know. Like, but I'm sorry to Gotham. Sorry to Midge. You guys are not the villains. You're just a damn good soccer team.
Yeah. I feel like you would have to have the league, like, really pushing you. Like KC this year, like, the way this league, like, I mean, for the right reasons, right? They were amazing this year, but like a little over the top. And if you listen to the the game commentary during the KC Gotham game, it was all game. It was how good KC is, and I can't believe this because KC is so good. And it's like all right, we understand they're good. Let us beat them.
It's funny because I again talked about this with my wife. It's like a lot of the narrative around the Gotham KC match was like, oh, KC doesn't care who they're playing, like they're going to dominate, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. But me and Adriana were like, if I'm Kansas City, I'm pissed that we drew Gotham as the 8th seed. Like, you think you're going to get like Louisville or Reign, who are not, obviously they're not bad teams, but they're in a different level than Gotham. For some reason, Gotham slipped all the way to 8th, just like a few missed results, some injuries, missing Astaire for many, many games, put them in that 8th spot. But I can't remember if it was Katie or Jaden said, we're not your typical 8th seed team, and they're not. So if I'm Kansas City, I'm like, what the hell? We can do it, but that's not usually the type of team a 1 seed is playing. And Gotham could have been a top 4 team. It just it was so tight at that table at the end. So yeah, I think we as a league learned a lot in these playoffs.
Yeah. And shout out to the Washington Spirit. I think they played an amazing game, and they're a great organization, and Michelle Kang is still a boss, and the Hey Spirits podcast is a fantastic podcast. Andre and
they won't have me on anymore.
Oh gosh, okay. Maybe I should change my mind. Maybe they're the villains.
Fine. I texted Andre and I said, when can I come on? And he said November 32nd. Oh, which I was like crying laughing. Do you know the lore about this?
I don't know.
So they had me on the podcast. And I had a great time. I love them. In the preview of Gotham's first matchup against the Spirit, where I think what did Gotham beat them? Like 3-0 or like something. It was like a wallop. And so then this all happened on Blue Sky. They were like, well, we're never having you on again because clearly, this is your fault. So every game I'm like, when am I coming on the pod? And they're like, you're literally banned from the pod. But I'm like sad because I actually love them. And I know, Gotham Spirit is supposed to be this rivalry or whatever. Yeah, but yeah. I want to, echo what you said there. I really like the Spirit. I think they're a great team, a great organization. I think the players are so fun and so talented. And I really like that team. So, obviously I wanted Gotham to win in the final, but, had Gotham not won and the Spirit won, it would have been deserved. So, definitely the great team. Personally, I'm happy to see, the team I cover win, but they're an amazing organization. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them at the final again next year.
No, we're going to see them in CONCACAF champions probably.
Oh, yeah.
So everywhere you look, it's Washington.
Everywhere you look, it's Washington.
Yeah, I saw one comment on like one of their social media posts from one of their fans, and it said like, if we played anyone else but Gotham, we would have won this thing. I was like, we would have got away with it too. We're for those pesky bats.
Well, so maybe they're the villains just to the Spirit.
Maybe.
Well, and that's a rivalry, folks. We solved it.
Yeah, but it's probably true, though. I think Washington probably would have beat everybody. Maybe Casey would have been a good matchup with them, but yeah.
Well, that's not that I was counting Gotham out, but I really did think before I even knew the playoff seeding, I was like, it's going to be KC Spirit. I mean, this is like, and that's on me because I should know better than to count out Gotham and also think you can predict the postseason.
True.
Because you absolutely cannot. But it was Gotham was Spirit's Achilles heel this year.
Indeed. Any stats of this match?
Well, you said a lot of the ones I really liked, like about like all the ones Opta puts out are always so good. Like I love that Bruninha was the only sub to assist on the game-winning goal and is the youngest player to have 2 championships. That was my favorite stat coming out of the final.
Yeah. I always mention this because this is funny to me, but like Mac Witham's now like she has to be the youngest player to win a championship.
Oh, 100%, right?
So, yeah, has to be. I can't imagine anybody's close to that.
When did Moultrie join Thorns?
Oh, she was like 16 or something, 16, 17 when she joined.
Oh, and Mac was younger. Yeah. Yeah, you must be right. You got to be right. That has to be it. Yeah.
Yeah, these kids these days.
I know.
And their NWSL trophies.
God, how old is she? 14? I don't even want to know. What the hell was I doing at 14? Not that.
You weren't winning intercontinental championships?
No, I think I was like on like the JV tennis team, like eating pixie sticks before the match or something like that. It wasn't very good.
Yeah. I have two stats. One is a bad stat. Like sometimes, like I get the stat people. Like if you got a stat, you want to put it out there, but like some stats just keep it in your pocket. And this one was like, I think it was on the broadcast. Where like Rose is the oldest MVP since 2000. I was like, come on.
She's How old like 30. Is she even?
It's like 30, 31 maybe. I don't know. Like acting like she's like. Were you
at her debut game in 2017 at Red Bull Arena? Were you there? The cold game. It was cold. It was really cold.
Maybe.
It was a doubleheader She Believes Cup.
No, I didn't go to any. I've never been to a She Believes Cup.
Well, you're not missing much, at least at Red Bull in February. I actually thought my feet were going to fall off. But we went, and part of the reason was because Adriana was like, oh my God, we have to see the debut of Rose Lavelle. And I'm like, who? So we saw the debut of Rose Lavelle, and now look at her.
Yeah. I got a good stat, though.
Ooh.
So since 2000, since the turn of the century, Gotham FC is the winningest team in the New York, New Jersey area. They have 3 championships, which is more than the Yankees can say, the Giants, the Devils, NYCFC, the Liberty, the Brooklyn Nets, the Knicks, the Jets, the Mets, the Islanders, the Rangers, and, Red Bulls.
LOL.
And Sirens. But
well, Gotham, they just got here.
Gotham owns the tri-state area.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The Intercontinental Championship brought them over the top. I think
perfect.
Yeah, the Yankees and the Giants have 2, but everyone else, Gotham is a winner.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just do some off-season thoughts. Let's look at the off-season. Last time, is Gotham a super team, Jenna?
I think we've reached a point in the NWSL right now where there are probably several super teams.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that means there are no super teams if there's many. Mm-hmm. But Spirit, KC, Gotham, these teams are all stacked. And, we could probably do a whole episode on the salary cap situation. But I think as that cap at least continues to grow and the league continues to grow, we're going to see more and more teams like this. So I would say they're a super team, but they're not the only one.
True. There are a couple players with contracts ending at the end of the season, which we'll find out hopefully in a couple of days. Ella Stevens still has a mutual option that can be picked up by the team and her. Hopefully that is the case. On loan ends at the end of the season, so there is an option, I think, to buy, but we'll see what happens there. Kayla Duran is on contract till March next year, so she'll be here for the Brazil game as well. And then Midge Purse is a free agent. And both injury players, Tierna and Taryn, are locked in for next season. So we got that.
Yep.
But your thoughts on those 4 players being... First, it's great that Gotham has locked in almost this entire roster.
I know. They did a good job.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. And what do you think about those 4 players? What are your thoughts?
I hope Ella stays. And I'm going to preface all this with saying, I will start tracking all this down now that it's the off season, but I don't know anything, literally, truly don't know anything right now. My thoughts on Ella are that she had a really tough season, barely played, coming off an injury. I think it would make a lot of sense for her to stay at Gotham, and trigger that mutual option. However, if there's a team out there that's offering her something, she should explore it. I personally would like her to stay, because I think she's a great player, and I think she's also a really good locker room. She's one of the Brazilians apparently, which is kind of awesome. But I hope she stays. Jace, I could see that going either way. I don't know if they'll buy at with the loan ending. I don't see her going back to her club, but I don't know if she'll stay at Gotham. I could really see it going either way. Kayla Duran, I feel like they'll keep her. I feel like they'll re-up her contract. I mean, she's a really young, promising player, and they really needed somebody else on that back line there. So unless they got someone else coming in, which by March, that the trade window is still trading. So who knows? Midge, doing it to us again with this free agent, Michigas. So she's just one of those, unfortunately, again, with the injuries, it's so tough. And like my heart breaks for players, especially ones like Midge, who are so good and love this game and are so passionate about it, but like have, struggle with the injury side. But I love Midge. I feel like she's just, to me, she's as quintessential to Gotham as Mandy is at this point. And I hope she stays too. I hope she stays. I think the New York area loves her, unless she wants to go be a villain somewhere. But don't stay. And I'm glad Tiernan and Taryn are locked in.
Yeah, it would be so weird to see Mitch in anybody else's jersey but Gotham. It would just be weird.
I don't like it.
Yeah, don't either. I hope she stays. For her, it's. I mean, it sucks as shit when she got injured. That was like the height of like her, not her value. I mean, like in as a person. I mean, like as like her market value was high. She just got the MVP for and she was like, I'm gonna feel offers from all here and there. And then she gets injured, and it kind of takes her down. And she's getting back there, but
yes,
I feel so bad for her for that reason.
It sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks. It's derailed so much of her career. With the national team, she was right on the bubble there. Like it's just, and like we know what she's capable of. We've seen her week in, week out. So
yeah, no doubt.
Great player. Hilarious.
Yeah. Don't see any reason why you don't bring back Kayla Duran. I think she fits in here. She's been doing well. I can attest to. I've just talked to her. She's a good person.
Yeah.
I'm a good reference for these things.
Absolutely.
But yeah. And then I think when Tierna Davidson's back, that adds so much more depth to this defense, and she does not have to be thrown in like she was this year. She can take her time and grow as a player, and what better depth piece than her. Jace, again, I'm with you. I think it could go either way. I don't know if the team is going to be willing to buy out the contract that she has. It's probably going to be expensive.
Right. That's exactly it. Like what, I don't know the details of that contract, but what is it? Well, what are they looking for? I haven't really like taken stock of that yet, but I can see it going either way.
Yeah. And I'm just here for the Ella Stevens revenge tour next year.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. And then 2026. This one's big because we got Berger, Carter, Freeman, Harper, Hogan, Lavelle, Sonnet, Stengel, Stevens, if the option is triggered. That's going to be a large contracts to take a look at next year.
Yeah. Can't even say anything about it now because, who knows what the 2026 season will bring. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and Gabby and Cook have mutual options for next year. And another thing, speaking to Kayla, she was talking about like the vibe at Gotham and how good it is, and she's like the vibe leader is Gabby. She's whatever they do, Gabby is leading the good vibes there.
I love that
on the team. Yeah. So sometimes even if you're not starting, she's still a good part of this team.
Oh yeah, I mean a team is 26 players. Any of them will tell you that. You need the vibes.
No doubt. So, any off-season wish list for you, Jenna? What do you want for this team in the off-season?
Maybe the back line. It's like so funny to say that too because they had the second stingiest defense in the league. Yet here I am wanting like another like winger or something. I don't know. So maybe somebody else back there. I mean, I think it's also like I'm kind of looking at it with like Tierna colored glasses. Like she wasn't here, so we didn't have the flexibility to, see, maybe do things a different way. But that would probably be it. And maybe, depends on what Jace and Ella do. We might need to see another striker up there. Maybe one more midfielder. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Esther's not getting any younger, I guess. But I think outside winger is an issue for the team. I think Midge is the only true winger. We've been kind of like putting all of our forwards like Gabby and Jace on the wing to try to fill in spots. But getting a winger opposite side of Midge would be a good thing for this team. And you're right. I think if Tiernan is back, it feels like so much flexibility happens because you can put Carter as an outside back if you need to. Maybe Taryn Torres comes back healthy, ready to go. She's an outside back help, so
might be a minute, but yeah, it's that the Tierna injury really changed a lot. But yeah, it's like you said, like people aren't getting any younger, and
Yeah.
I think they're pretty good for next season. I think they'll need one or two pieces, but you gotta look forward, because there might be somebody available now who you want to lock in for a few years and have them. So, and that's why I am not Yael.
Who, by the way, should be GM of the year. What's head of soccer operations? What's her title now?
Whatever. Awesome GM.
Yeah, whatever. What an amazing job she's done with this team.
The Jaden Shaw trade is, in retrospect, I loved it at the time. Mm-hmm. Some people thought it was, too expensive, whatever. I'm like, what even is, like, with the values this season of trades were so all over the place. There's literally no barometer right now. It's rising so exponentially, like, whatever. I was like, this player is worth that. She is a generational player. She's 20. She just turned 21, and she just won them a championship. I mean, if it was not for her in the playoffs, who knows? So, best business of the year.
Yeah. I just love that she's only been here like 2 months, and like she's almost the face of the team right now. Like, she's doing all the interviews, she's out there, and she's personable, she's awesome. And it's just, you just know she's locked in for such a long time. We're like, wow, what a deal. And she's 21.
Yeah, she said that coming here was like the best decision of her career. And that's amazing to hear. And you could see it, and you could just see the way that she has brought a spark back to the team. I mean, not that the team was like lacking a spark, but she reignited something, I think, in this team for the postseason, because they were having a little bit of like a dippy dip. And her coming in just changed the game.
Yeah, I'm just also glad that like last season there was like 10 players that were like nearly out of contract. So I'm glad that most of the players are locked in, good to go. A
lot more stable.
Yeah, hopefully we wouldn't have too much news on the offseason. I'll need a break. So any random thoughts before we get over to Kayla Duran's interview?
No, that was fun.
How was the Bills Hallmark movie?
Oh, so bad. I loved it. I loved every second of it. There's like 5 Bills players and the coach and Jim Kelly, Bills legend, in the movie. So I was like, I can't believe I got all these guys in this movie. It's hilarious. And it was just perfect. It's just like a mindless Hallmark movie where I got to see some Bills players. It was great.
No doubt. I had to
DVR it or whatever, because it was on at the same time in the final.
Mm-hmm. I just texted my girlfriend. I just signed up for the Hallmark Plus. I was like, it has begun.
The good stuff. That's the good stuff.
All right. So we will see you guys soon. Working on another player interview. So hopefully we'll get some more player interviews during the off season. We'll catch up with you guys when there's news.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon. Welcome to Soccer Over Gotham interview. And just to be frank, the hidden story that no one is talking about is the reason Gotham prevailed in their second championship run in 3 seasons went down to roster depth. When you look at KC, Orlando, and Washington, they all faced immense challenges when key players went down. Banda, Chawinga, Cooper, Rodman, Hirschfeld in the final, but not Gotham. If like Esther's out, then Stengel jumps in, and Gotham utilized their entire 18, as they had to because they played the most games of any team this season. The trust that this team has in all their 18 allowed for all the players to leave their mark, and one of those unlikely heroes of the season came mid-season as a replacement player, and it was evident that this player was special, so she quickly earned a call up to the main roster and an extension of her contract. So let's talk to that hero. Welcome to the show, Kayla Duran.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's awesome. And congrats on all the success. I mean, gosh, what a whirlwind. And I bet you're like in that space where like you kind of don't want it to end, but you must be exhausted.
Yes, no, definitely. I feel as though everything has been such a whirlwind at the end of the day. And I am just so excited. And the season has really flown by, but every single, second has been amazing.
Yeah, that's precisely the reason we wanted to talk to you, because we're all about telling the stories of players that don't usually get their stories told. And I think you're, again, one of the best stories of the season. Amanda's going to jump in with some rapid fire questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations, Kayla, again. Super excited for you. And I have a few quick questions for you. First, your favorite Thanksgiving food.
Oh, honestly, turkey.
Nice. Who do you think your most underrated teammate is?
Oh my goodness. We have so many great players on our team. I think honestly, underrated, maybe not, but I feel like Sonnet does not give the credit that she's given, especially just seeing her in practice every day. She is not only an incredible player, but definitely one of the smartest players I've ever had the opportunity to play with.
Totally agree. If you had to describe Coach Amoros in one word, what would that word be?
Passionate.
Um, what show, music, or movie have you listened to or watched too many times?
Definitely kicking and screaming. I feel like that's always my airplane movie.
Yes. What are you nerdy about outside of soccer?
For me, it's probably analytics, my full-time job right now. So I love doing data and, coding away.
Oh, super impressive. What are you doing this off season?
This off season, well, we don't have a lot of time off as we'll be in Spain in probably just over a month. But honestly, looking forward to spending time with my family. My brother plays ice hockey, so he's in season. So hopefully getting to go to a lot of his games as well.
Would you describe yourself as more in New York or New Jersey now?
Oh my goodness. I think New Jersey.
And you wouldn't be here without this person or people.
Oh, so many people. Definitely, the few people that come to my mind are my parents, my brother Riley, and then also my two old college coaches, Kia McNeil and Jane Alaconis.
Nice. Thanks.
All right, Kayla, we're going to jump in a little bit about your journey. So obviously, like the path of a pro soccer career is never like a linear one. There's always like turns and off ramps, and it's pretty crazy. So your path is unique in that you graduate for USC. You're a top player in the college pool. You don't. Yeah. So what were you doing last season? Were you not playing at all?
Yes, no, I wasn't playing at all.
Wow.
I was actually still at USC, so I
Okay.
just graduated this past December. My
Oh,
master's program was a year and a half long,
gotcha.
but it mismatched with my playing eligibility as I only had really a semester left. So, yeah, I was a quite literally a regular student for almost over a little over a year.
What was that like for you? I mean, because obviously soccer is a big part of your identity as a person. Was something you were like, how did you stay in shape and fit for that time off?
Yeah, honestly, it was honestly never in my plan to play pro soccer. I thought, when I made the decision to go to USC, it was okay, I was going to finish out my final year, and I quite literally made the decision that I wanted to pursue academic um and like futuristic, I guess, in the sense of my job career. I knew like my program was going to be a year and a half, and so I just thought I underestimated how much I love soccer at the end of the day. So during that year, I was also overcoming a concussion, having some symptoms. So I really was, walking, doing yoga, but quite literally anything but running and playing soccer until probably this past April.
Wow. And how did Gotham get on your radar? I mean, what were the conversations like, and just how did that come to be?
Yeah, so I played in the TST 7v7 tournament.
Okay.
So after I graduated this past December, I definitely felt like I was missing soccer a little bit. But I was like, okay, I've been out of the game for almost a year. I'm not really sure where to start. And it was almost like a perfect opportunity. I got a call from Hope Solo right before the end of the spring, before the TSC tournament, asking if I wanted to join her team. And so from there, I trained for just about a month, played in the TSC tournament. It's like, wow, this is amazing. Talked to some of my college coaches, and they essentially were like, why don't you just, try to pursue playing professional soccer? And I was able to get an agent, and Gotham took a chance on me for a month's trial. So yeah, I felt like all the stars aligned, and it was a very unique situation, but it
Yeah.
worked out.
Absolutely. That's wild. And like obviously the jump from not playing to getting onto Gotham and you're jumping into tournaments and that must have been a wild ride. Like how'd you get like how was that transition for you from going from that to like being 90 minutes fit?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was definitely like I was being thrown into the fire, but I think
Yeah.
at sometimes that's the best way to really get up to speed in the tempo and also being fit as well. It was nice because like as I was preparing for Gotham and TST, I was playing with boys, so I felt like I had a little bit of jump start in the sense of like being able to play at a higher pace than usual. But again, I think it also is a credit to how competitive the Gotham, practice environment was. At the end of the day, I really was training for a month and then probably a week or two later we had our first CONCACAF game and that was when I really had my first 90 minutes in a year and a half. So, yeah, and I felt like I was overall quite prepared. Obviously wasn't at the level I would have loved to be at, but granted that I had been out of the game for a little bit, I was just really excited and happy that that paid off at the end of the day.
And Gotham's not like a regular team. I mean, obviously it's a very like advanced system. Everyone has to know their roles and you're jumping into a new team. So like how was that for you? I mean, jumping in and trying to learn a whole new system of playing.
Yeah, I think it was difficult at first, but again, I think the culture that Gotham has was really just made everything a little bit easier. We practice at a game like speed. All the coaches and players are willing to help one another, and especially me as a new player that was on a month's trial and then stuck with the team. I was kind of an anomaly in a sense of not understanding the team tactics at the beginning, but the coaching staff really goes that extra mile all the time and constantly if you want to learn and really get that, I guess, like foundation down. And I found that really special as well as just all the players just helping out.
I guess your background in data analytics helped you jump into the heavy data analytics system that he runs over there. Was there like a player that like took you under their wing and really like helped you transition, or was it just like a team effort?
I think it was a team effort. I think, having a rapport, Shelby Hogan and Lily Reel being from Massachusetts and having played with them a few times previously was a good immersion, a little bit into the team. But I also think that I learned so much just, playing under Jess and Sonnet constantly. They are definitely two of the smartest players that I ever have played with, and I am constantly learning new things. So I think it was definitely a cumulative effort, but having some rapport from the Massachusetts roots, and then as well just having so many different veteran players on the team was so helpful.
Absolutely. And then Amanda is going to talk about what we came here to talk about, this winning this championship. What a wild ride. Go ahead, Amanda.
Absolutely. So playoffs in your first year in the league, super huge. Tell us a little bit about what that preparation for the playoffs was like. Gotham is the eighth seed going in. You're going to be on the road for all of your games. What was it like to prepare for the games?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. I think what one thing that really propelled our team was, like Jaden said, was this underdog mentality. I think, it honestly fueled our fire a little bit, especially after a not great result for our final regular season. And then having a lot of doubts in terms of, okay, we just lost to North Carolina. And, the second half of the season, we had really good games. And then we had some more mediocre games where it was kind of tumultuous at times. But I think, the playoffs really just honed in everyone. And, we had something to prove beyond, just our regular season performances. And I think it also fueled our fire, like I said, that, we had a lot of doubts and not a single person even thought about us competing against Kansas City. And I think, we played a great game in the regular season against Kansas City that we knew we had the potential to, really come out on top. And I think that's one thing that really propelled us into winning the championship at the end of the day.
Nice. And to ask about the earlier championship that Gotham won this year in the CONCACAF W Champions Cup, that was absolutely huge. You played in a bunch of those games. What did it feel like to contribute to this club's first ever international trophy, the first ever CONCACAF W Champions Cup? And how did that experience prepare the team for the NWSL playoffs?
Yeah, it was truly so special. I think, again, it's a credit to the coaching staff of having such faith in all of the players at Gotham, not just our regular season starting 11. I think it gave an opportunity for the other players that may not play as much time in the regular season to have an opportunity to showcase their abilities. But I think that also garnered confidence in those players that were primarily subs or didn't have as many minutes. So then when it came time to the playoffs, where if you were called upon, you had that, game-like experience. So I think at the end of the day, that honestly gave us a leg up because, we were all at some point in that, 90-minute game fitness. And I think that was really special for our team to have because we have such a strong starting 11, but also I think entire roster.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing to see the depth that Gotham has grown. And so coming to the playoffs, a lot of the pundits were off, underdog and all of that. What was the mindset of the team going in? All the pressure on like clubs like Kansas City and Orlando and Spirit as higher seeds and Gotham as the eighth seed.
Yeah, like I previously mentioned, I think that, that underdog mentality fueled our fire. And at the end of the day, I think not having pressure to, win like Kansas City did, I think we had nothing to lose at that point and everything to gain. And I think we really just, hearing about the previous season, them getting knocked out in the semifinals and obviously them having a Cinderella story in 2023. I think the difference is that this year you could feel that there was a confidence within our entire roster in a sense that everyone had faith in each other that we could get the job done. And like it may not have been seen from an external point of view, but the team was very consistent in a sense of we know what we're capable of, but okay, let's show it, especially in a time when it matters.
Definitely. Gotham's fans, they've been through so much. Their club since, a few years ago when the club was not doing as well as it is now. In Cloud9 has been traveling for the games. There are a bunch of Gotham fans at the championship match. What does it mean for the team to have that support behind you?
Oh, it means everything, honestly, at the end of the day. I know they mentioned to, I think, a few of us after, I almost want to say it was the North Carolina game or our last home game. And, for me, I honestly I had no expectations. I was like, oh, I'll see one or two Gotham fans at, in Kansas City, and then hopefully we're in their semifinals. And then when I see a huge group, not only in Kansas City, but also in Orlando, and then again in the finals, it's something so special. And we definitely don't take for granted because I think, especially when you're playing away in the semifinals and quarterfinals in two very hard environments, I think, those groups really is what push us through beyond just, our team cheering us.
Definitely. Yeah, I was at the championship and there were a ton of Gotham fans. It sounded really amazing. And I'm glad all the fans got to be there with the team.
Yes, no, it was amazing.
Yeah, the team's defense really just flawless through the finals and throughout the whole playoffs. What is so special about that group?
So many things. I think the first thing that comes to mind is that everyone is so knowledgeable and skilled beyond, just their like playing ability. I think, especially like Sonnet and Jess's tactical ability mentally is so something that propels the team, and especially like Antu. And I think my life is indebted to her after, the Orlando game especially, but after every game as well. But yeah, I think, one thing that our defensive line has is beyond just, the physical capabilities and technical capabilities is that mindset and mentality to not only, win and to, do that extra stride to make sure they're not getting a shot off to, make that tackle, but also, how can we, better our team structure and all of that. And they're constantly asking questions, constantly talking about ways that they can, just be more seamless as a backline unit, which is something that's really special as well.
And now just walk us through those moments in the championship, watching Rose's shot, the emotions of hearing that final whistle and realizing that Gotham won. What was that like?
Yeah, I don't even know if I can put all the emotion, like I felt all the emotions honestly, and it was so crazy. And I think again, like that's a credit to Rose, of course, for a spectacular finish, but I also think a lot of the credit is due to Bruna as well. Like she started the first two playoff games and then started on the bench and then came off the bench and absolutely added a completely different dynamic and energy to the team. And I think that offensive mentality that she has really was able to capitalize on those final opportunities in the final minutes as well. So I think again, that's a testament to our team and our depth and how so many different players can come in and out of the lineup and still crush it. And it's the same thing with like Sarah Shapansky in the first game. She played so well against Kansas City. She didn't play as much, I don't think, if I'm remembering correctly, in Orlando Pride, and then crushed it again in the finals and was unbelievable. So yeah, like I said, I think, I was just obviously so happy for, our team because I saw even just in the second half of the season how hard each and every person works. And I think it was definitely a testament to just our mentality of like never giving up and, taking strides even when things weren't going our way.
Yeah, that whole sequence, the goal sequence, I mean, starts from Sarah Shapansky with that ridiculous ball. I think Ambrose called it her weak foot, right?
Right.
If there is such a thing as her weak foot. And then Bruna just being able to slow the game down a little bit just to get Rose back into the picture. And I was at one of the watch parties and you see the ball just get past the defense and you see Rose coming out of this from like out of the screen and you're just like, okay, it's a goal.
Yeah.
You just knew. She's probably done that 1,000 times in practice. And wow, what an ending. And let's talk about your teammates. Let's hype them up a little bit. So I mean, just in general, you talk a little bit about Gotham's culture. And I think one thing that jumps out is that it seems like you guys are all having a lot of fun. And it seems like you all get along and like it's just a big collective group. So what can you say about like Gotham's culture, like on the back end? Like seems like everyone gets along.
Yes, no, definitely. And I think, one thing that's really special about our culture is that, in practice, it's game time, honestly. And like we're all pushing each other to get better. We're pushing each other to learn more, to, get this team honestly in the best level that it can be. And I think one thing that Gotham has compared to a lot of other NWSL teams is like, again, how deep this roster is. Like every day it feels like you're vying for a starting position, you're vying for playing time. So I think that's something that's really special. And then at the end of after practices or after the games, like you see everyone getting along, but especially, Gabby is always leading the charge with those dance moves and everything. And so she's honestly, everyone is so incredible with the team culture, especially in the locker room like that. But I do give a lot of credit to Gabby and Brew for always, getting the music going and making everyone dance. So yeah, it's just truly a special place.
Indeed. And going back to the championship game, I think the moment of this game where I really felt like that Gotham had what it takes to win this game was Emily Sonnet just throwing herself on the ground and blocking a shot with her back. I think, so like, what was that moment like for you? And did that, I don't know, mentally like give you a sense of like, okay, this is what it means to win in a championship. This is the level we need to get to. Like, what was that like for you to see that as a defender?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think everyone on the bench was just like all stared at each other and were like, Sonnet is unreal. And she really is. Like, she is willing to put her body on the line. We thought she blocked it with the back of her head at the end of the day. Who knows what she did? But I think it's just like that level of commitment. And as, as she's a leader on our team and such a great center back, I think like her exemplifying like what it means to and how to play to win a national championship at the end of the day or a championship was it just kind of motivated everyone. Like everyone got amped, whether you're on the bench or on the field after that play. And I think, that gave, a little bit more momentum for us as well.
And now that you've played with her, you obviously going to learn a lot from her, but are you picking up any of her bad habits, like talking trash and stuff like that? Is that transferring over to your game? How's your trash talk level
I
jumped?
don't think so. No one does it like Sonnet does. So I let the master do her work.
There was the Orlando game where like it was the first half hour of the game we're watching it. Every time they panned up to Marta, like there's just Emily like in her ear, just saying I don't know what she's saying to her, but Emily is just
Sounds like Sonnet for
yeah,
sure.
the
So
master
yeah.
of the dark arts.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
Yeah, let's talk about Gotham's rookie class because this is unique for us. You go from 2023 to one of the oldest rosters on record. They had one rookie. Then last year it was a lot of really solid veterans that came in through the back end, and then this year a lot of rookies. They're talking Hasbo, who came in midseason like you did, and who showed off. Shapansky, Harper, Lily Reel, who won the Rookie of the Year. So, like, what does this say for this coaching staff to be able to integrate so many rookies and not only have them like play. They thrived this season as you did.
Yeah, definitely. I think, first of all, it's a credit to the rookie class that we have. I think, everyone, like our team in general, was so welcoming to the rookies. And I think it takes a special team as well to, welcome rookies and like allow them to almost thrive in an environment. It's very easy for the veterans to make it as difficult as possible on the rookies. And I found that not to be the case. And especially, they were the ones that were pushing the rookies to, be better, to thrive in that environment. So I think that's the first thing that really comes to mind. And then, our rookie class was really talented, but I think at the same time, the coaching staff going that extra mile to, tactics is a whole nother level that, yes, you're doing it in college, but it is something that is so different. And, the smallest mistakes add up in a professional level. And that's one thing that I found was, one of the bigger jumps. So again, that's a testament to the coaching staff and their dedication to not only, have high standards for tactics beyond other play, but also to get everyone understanding and on board.
So you've had a really big journey this year, and now it's the off season. So we're wondering what's next for you. Are you planning on coming back to Gotham?
Yeah, honestly, that's, well, so I'm definitely will be back for January and February.
Hmm.
And then I think for me is like figuring out what that next step is. So, I've been so focused on, the championship where I honestly haven't even given it a thought. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what's to come, but I'm also very excited to be with the team again in Spain and then London, and it should be an amazing tournament. So I'm just really looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, the January tournament is very exciting. It'll be in England, and you mentioned that you're doing preseason in Spain. Uh, how excited are you to play in those matches, especially with the possibility of facing off against Arsenal in England?
Yes, no, it's going to be awesome. And I think, again, starting with the CONCACAF, we're able to put, Gotham more on, this like international level, worldwide, viewing scene. And I think this is just another step further, playing potentially against, Arsenal would be a huge milestone, I think, for, women's soccer in general, but not only the NWSL, but I think for our team too, to, showcase really like how great our team is and how much depth our team has and the ability to compete with such, other high level clubs as well.
Yeah, that is super exciting, especially for Gotham just trying to become this global club and build a fan base. I think it's really amazing, and especially in the first iteration of this sort of international club competition and then headed to the Club World Cup in a few years. I think it's a really great sign for the club to have this international success. One of the best stories in this championship is Mandy Freeman. In the last championship, she was not in the 18 and she captained the team. Amoris put her in to make sure that she could be the captain. She's been a really long tenured member of Gotham. And really been with Gotham as the league has grown. And we're just going to ask a little bit about her and what it means for this club and yourself to see her start and lift the trophy as captain.
Yeah, and I feel like in this interview thus far, I haven't given Mandy enough credit, honestly, because I think she's been in and out of the starting lineup, has proven herself, just in the short time that I've seen her at the end of the day. And I think it's just a testament to who she is as a person. obviously very resilient and hardworking, but she's also such a great role model, too, for people like me. I did not know that she was always a center back, and this is a new rendition for her becoming an outside back. Meanwhile, I thought she was like a seasoned outside back when I first came to the team. So again, like she handles adversity and changes so well. And I think at the end of the day, not only handles them, but embraces them. And again, yeah, I think the story is very much a testament to who she is, and it's very reflective of why she is a captain now. Like she has seen adversity, she and like powered through it. And I think at the end of the day, it's a really hard position to maybe not play the first or not start the first two playoff games, and then you're in for DC when it means everything. And again, like she played so great as well. So I think, yeah, I'm just so excited that she had that opportunity because it's so well deserved, and she's such a great captain.
Definitely. It really is amazing to see. I'm sure it means a lot to her. I actually wanted to ask, as you mentioned that you had a job as a data analyst, and I just wanted to ask what it's like having another job and also being a professional soccer player and how you balance that.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot sometimes, but I think at the end of the day as well, um, it keeps me busy. And I think that's something that's really important to me, having outlets beyond, just on the soccer field, because you can't control all the time, adversity that you're going to face. Or, I think something that's just like firing up my brain in a different way is something that's really important to me. But yeah, it's a testament to my company that I work for as a data analyst for being so flexible in my schedule. So I'll work after soccer practice, but also again with our coaching staff, they know I have a full-time job as well. So they're able to, push some of my individual meetings in the morning for me rather than, after practice. And I think that's also something that's really special within Gotham, is that they embrace that I have a full-time job, and they love to ask about it rather than, they could very easily not be as supportive. So I'm just really grateful on both sides to have such a great, support system.
That is honestly just super impressive.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I really admire that. And yeah, just might be a little bit earlier for reflections, but what are you taking from this championship journey? Any lessons that you've learned?
Oh my goodness. I think, the underdog mentality is a huge thing, but I think also, you see the players that have thrived in the playoffs. I think, yes, Mandy is a great example of, going through adversity in years past and then being able to thrive now, being put on the spot, being, a captain, a leader, a starter in the finals, and being able to thrive. And then I also think too is like, then you see Sonnet, maybe she's not getting as much credit as she should, but she's still, putting her body on the line no matter what the news is saying, or she's not getting all the credit, and she's still, working for our team and being a complete like team player at the end of the day. So I think, all those small things. You see Midge making almost like her comeback after, a phenomenal 2023 season and then having some injuries throughout the year, and like her killing it as well. And, Jaden, I think like everyone, if you look at their individual stories, are so inspiring, where you just take snippets of each player. I think for me, and I'm just like constantly inspired. I think everyone has had their own, tumultuous journey at some point, and it's, so honestly like heartwarming at the end of the day, and exciting for my teammates to be like thriving in such after facing adversity and all that, and being great teammates at the same time.
Yeah, it's never a straight line.
No.
Everybody has their adversity and their stories to tell. And that's why we love doing this. Kayla, just thank you for coming on. This has been amazing. We just thank you. You have a great story to tell. And obviously, like didn't want you back next season. So do whatever you can to get back into the locker room. We need that. But wherever it ends up, we'll be rooting for you, again, wherever your journey takes you. So hopefully we can connect again and tell the next chapter of your story.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So everybody, it's been a journey. This is the end of episode 150 for us, which is a lot. So it's been an amazing ride. And just thanks everyone from Kayla, Amanda, and myself. Just have a great holiday season. We will see you at some point during the off season.
Amazing.